So when they tell you what they want, they're going to tell you the whole picture. But little things like that can turn them on. A voice, smell, the way you move, right? All these types of things. So they can't account for that when they're answering the question, when they're doing, these podcasts and they're telling you, I want a guy like this, I want a guy like that. They can't account for those little things that you may have, but you don't know that you have them. You don't know how your smell is you don't know how a woman's gonna react to your smell, how she's gonna react to your voice until you talk to her, until you're near her, right? So this is why you can't get so caught up in what they say they like. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Marvel of a Matter back with another video. And today what I'm gonna talk about is pay attention to what women do, not what they say, right? Pay attention to what they do, not what they say. And I'm talking about specifically when it comes to what they say they like. What they say they like and what they actually like are not always in alignment, right? Or more specifically, what they say they don't like, right? Don't really listen too much to what they say they don't like if their actions say otherwise. That's basically what I'm saying. So I'll give you an example. You ask a woman what she likes. She's gonna say, I want a guy who's 6 feet, I want a guy who makes this much money, he lives in this place, he does that, he does this, right? She has all this list of what she likes. Fair, you're asking her what she wants, her preference, so she's gonna tell you. You ask a guy the same question, okay, what would you like? He's gonna tell you, I want a girl that looks like this, your body's like that, hair's like this, the waist is like, he's gonna tell you what he likes. Fair enough, preferences. The difference comes when you now show a guy a picture of a girl who's not that, right? And you show him and you're like, okay, what'd you deal with this girl? Now a guy is gonna be like, he's gonna look at her, scan her up and down, and he might find one feature, like she might have nice lips or she might have a nice butt or whatever it is. And he'll be like, I wouldn't want to deal with her. You know what I'm saying? Like I probably wouldn't mess with her if I have the option to mess with another girl, especially if I can deal with my preference, right? If I have the options, nah, but if I was in a drought, if a lion's got to eat. That's what a guy would be able to tell you. He'd be like, realistically, do I want to? No. Would I make her my girl? No. But would I sleep with her if I didn't have no other options? Yeah, I would. Now you ask a girl the same thing, right? You put her in a position where you slide a picture over to her and it's a guy that's not her preference, right? He doesn't look super attractive to her. Let's say he does have a feature that she likes, right? But the overall is not really what she wants. It's not the presentation that she wants. She's gonna look at him and be like, no, ill, right? No, I wouldn't talk to him, right? And you can say it's because women have higher standards, right? Okay, cool. But a lot of times in real life, when you play this out, the guy will do exactly what he said. He will sleep with the girl that has this one feature that he likes. He's like, that's all I need, this one body part, and then I do what I do. The girl in real life, although she said no to the picture, when she ends up talking to a guy, can be swayed into liking the guy, right? Can be swayed into liking the guy. You'll see girls that date guys that are not physically attractive, that don't have money, so it's not about the money. It's about the guy just has to be in the right place at the right time, around her in the right environment, and he can still have her. He can still date her. Girls date guys that they are not their preference all the time. But if you ask them ahead of time if they would date this person, they'll tell you no. If you ask them ahead of time if they would sleep with this person, they'll tell you no. Right? So there's a disconnect between what they say they would do or what they would like or what they wouldn't like and what plays out in reality. It's a bigger disconnect there than it is with men. Men are pretty realistic about the reality of who they would deal with. But women, like I said, there's that disconnect. So when you listen to women online talk about, oh, we want this, we want that, we're not dealing with this, we're not dealing with that, you can't take it too seriously. You have to look at, okay, what has this woman actually done in real life? Height is a big one, 6 feet, right? We all know they want a guy who's 6 feet plus. You ask a girl, okay, how tall does a guy have to be for you to be interested in him? I need a guy that's at least 6 feet. Some women will say 6'1", some women will say 6'2". But when you ask the same girl, okay, well, have you dated a guy shorter than 6 feet? The majority of them will say, yeah, I have. Yeah, there was this one guy. Yeah, there was this. Yeah. Some of them might even say, I mean, I actually have never been able to get a guy over 6 feet, but I would like it, right? There's disconnect. And it's like, okay, if you're a guy and you're hearing what they're saying and you're taking it to heart what they're saying and you're not paying attention to what's going on in reality, you will be feeling unnecessarily self-conscious, unnecessarily insecure, right? You're going to sabotage yourself before you even get a chance to go out and try anything. It might be race-based that you're worried about. You might be worried like, oh, girls don't like my race, or girls don't like this, whatever the quality is. You might be bald and be like, oh, girls don't like bald guys because they say, I want a guy with hair. If you ask them, what do you want? They're going to say, I want a guy with hair. But they might date bald guys, right? There are bald guys in relationships. That's how baldness is still in our population, because bald guys have been reproducing for years and years and years. It's probably prevalent. More than likely, you're going to be bald. So it's like, what they're saying they like, yeah, they prefer it, yes. If you're bald and you came up with hair, they probably would like you more. But it doesn't mean that they don't like you because you don't have hair. If you were 6'2", yeah, they might like you more. But it doesn't mean you won't get them because you're not 6'2". So I just want guys to pay attention to that. Another thing is like body game on the flip side, right? So I talked about what they don't like, but they'll still do. Another thing is they're not even really that great at saying what they do like, right? Because you ask a girl, do you want a guy with muscles? She's gonna be like, I mean, I don't really care. Like, it's whatever. He could have a dad bod, really. Right? They'll say they like a dad bod. They'll say that's what they like, that's what they're interested in. But if you put a guy with a great body in the room in front of them, if you put the girl in his presence, she's going to react to him. She's going to have a reaction to him. Everybody who has a body knows women react to your body. They will react to it. They'll say when they're not in the room, when they're not around it, they'll be like, it's whatever, I don't really care. But when you put them in front of you and you have a nice body, I know this from experience, there's a reaction. If I go out and my shirt is off and I'm in good shape, somebody's gonna try to touch me, that somebody's gonna be looking, somebody's gonna, let's say I go out to a party or I go anywhere, like somebody's gonna say something, somebody's gonna touch me, it's gonna come up and there's gonna be clear signs of interest and attraction. That's just what happens, right? And so they'll tell you they don't want that, but you can see that they do, right? You can pay attention to them and see like, okay, they're very sexually interested in that. If women didn't care about bodies, then leading men in movies wouldn't have nice bodies. They would be like whatever. They would have dad bods. If women like dad bods, Hollywood would be putting dad bods on the screen because they would be drawing in more money. It's about the money. Romance novels would be talking about how round his belly was, not his six pack. You know what I'm saying? Like they wouldn't describe men in a way that includes muscles and build and all this type of stuff in romance novels. And when they turn into movies, they would cast guys with, like I said, dad bods. None of that is true, because although women will say, I don't care, they react to that. Hollywood knows that, so they put that in the movies. The romance novels know that, so they put that in the romance novels. Women will tell you one thing, but their reaction is different. And I have my bro science theory on that, why men and women are different in that way. And I think it's because men have testosterone coursing through our bodies. We have testosterone coursing through our bodies all the time, right? So we're always kind of on the line, teetering the line of turned on and turned off, right? We can be turned on in an instant like that because we just have that sex hormone pushing through us, coursing through our body the whole day. Women, it's a little bit different. It's kind of like, I had a video where I talked about how women kind of have two modes, and it's like the good girl, bad girl, right? Every woman has a good girl and a bad girl. And when she's presenting to the world, normally it's her good girl that's out, right? It's her good girl that's talking. She's organized, she's planning, she's at work, she's dealing with the kids, she's dealing with her friends, all this type of stuff. So that brain is not sexualized. That brain is organized. That brain is, it's productive, it's logical, and that's where she's at. And because they don't have testosterone coursing through their body all the time, right? They get spikes of their sex hormone. They get spikes of estrogen, right? So when they're ovulating, they get spikes of estrogen. So they're more turned on around that time. There's a period of time where they do feel that sexual, stimulation. Not that they can't be turned on, but it's not a constant state of being, right, for them. Women have to be turned on. Men are almost turned on all the time. They could, the slightest thing, we're on, right? Whereas them, foreplay and all this stuff, you have to turn a woman on, right? So you have to get her from that good girl to the bad girl, I guess you could say. That's the way I'm going to explain it. So you have to get her into that state. Now, once you get her into that state, who she is there, what she reacts to in that state is going to be different than what she says she likes when she's in the good girl state. When she's in the good girl state, she's stating features, she's stating certain things. But because she's not in that sexual mode, she's not really going to see the world through that lens. Whereas guys kind of always see the world through that lens because we're right there on the line all the time, right? That's my little bro science of why I think it's a difference. Why when a woman, you ask her, she's going to tell you from her logical brain, this is what I like. But when she's turned on, or she can be turned on by things that are not necessarily all the things that she likes. Whereas a guy knows, because he's already in that mode, he's already has that testosterone coursing through his body. He already knows, like, he's very close in, like, his sexual side is more integrated. So he knows, okay, this is what I'm into sexually. And it lines up pretty well. Whereas women will say one thing, but then be turned on by a guy that's completely different than what they say. Right? That's my little bro science on why I think that is. But regardless of why it is, you have to know that that exists. There's a difference between preference, stated preference, and what plays out in reality. So as a guy, don't worry too much. You have to see if girls like you. You may not fit into a category of the hot guy or whatever it is, but you have to see, like, okay, do girls actually respond to this? Will they actually respond to me? That's what it comes down to. And you shouldn't beat yourself up, and you shouldn't be, of course, you should try to present yourself well. You should try to, if you can meet the standards, right? But don't worry if you don't, right? If you have things that you can't change about yourself, don't worry, because women are attracted to men. I think they underestimate how attracted to men they are, right? And just as a society, we underestimate how attracted to men women are, right? There's a girl I know specifically who, she's married to a guy that I think if you showed her a picture of him, I'm pretty sure if you showed her a picture of him, she would be like, no, I'm not interested in him. If she's seen him on a dating app, she would have swiped. But because they met in real life and they interacted, there was something she found sexy about him. There was something she found so attractive about him. But it's not because he looked like what she would imagine. It's because when you engage in real life and the hormones are going, the pheromones are going, like, she can't account for that in her imagination, right? She can't account for, the way he smells in her imagination. That's something that could turn her on. She can't account for his voice in her imagination, right? That's something that might turn her on. And they don't think about the one feature, the little thing. They're looking at the whole picture. So when they tell you what they want, they're going to tell you the whole picture. But little things like that can turn them on. A voice, smell, the way you move, right? All these types of things. So they can't account for that when they're answering a question, when they're doing, these podcasts and they're telling you, I want a guy like this, I want a guy like that. They can't account for those little things that you may have, but you don't know that you have them. You don't know how your smell is you don't know how a woman's going to react to your smell, how she's going to react to your voice until you talk to her, until you're near her, right? So this is why you can't get so caught up in what they say they like, because yes, they do like what they say they like, for sure. But to put it plainly, they like other things beyond that. There are other things that will turn them on, that will get them in that mode beyond just the cookie cutter features and attributes that they say that they want. So that's very important for you to know, so that you can go out into the world and try. You can be like, okay, well, I don't have this and this, but let's see. Maybe she likes my voice. Maybe she likes my humor. Maybe she likes my whatever it is, right? You might have a feature that you think is ugly and a girl likes it. That happens, right? She's not gonna say, yeah, I like a guy with this type of nose or this type of this or this type of that. But then in real life, she might see it and be like, oh, it looks good on you, right? That's something that caught my attention, right? The way your skin, right? You might have radiant skin in real life. There's just so many variables that the only way you're gonna know is if you actually engage with women, and then you'll see. And you might be one of those guys that people look at you and don't think that women like you, but because you have certain features, certain things about you that they do like, that they don't talk about, you might do well with women, right? You never know until you're actually dealing with this. So trying to project how you're gonna do with women based on, if you meet these certain standards and criteria is a waste of time. It doesn't matter, especially if you don't reach the criteria. Worrying about it doesn't matter. See what's actually gonna happen in real life. All right, fellas, so that's the video for today. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know what y'all think. Drop some more topics in the comment section and I'll get to those. I got my coaching calls in the description box, Instagram in the description box, and y'all know what it is. It's mind over matter, Marvel over matter. Let's get it.